What's up and welcome everybody. My name is Thamsanqa Tu, sometimes known as the TT, sometimes known as the chairman. We are back on the TT hookup. It's been a while. The TT hookup will be working together with the TT African Vibes Media. What we post on the TT hookup will also post on the TT African Vibes Media, especially if it's about news, such as we're going to be doing today. We had the opportunity today to speak to the executive mayor of Ngwathe local municipality, Victoria DPM Tombeni, together with Dr. Molefe of the Selete Foundation, a foundation project that will be bringing development in Parys. They are building a private hospital, private school. They're bringing a truck stop. They'll be doing a variety of development projects. There's a lot that's going to be happening. They are promising to bring about in excess of 24,000 jobs to Paris, within the range of this project. So we had that interview. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take you right to that interview.
Colleagues, I think we're about to start with our interview. We have two local media houses. We have Parys Gazette, represented by Lizel, and then we have TT, African Podcast, which is represented by Mr. Thamsanqa Tu. Colleagues, we only have two guests, the executive mayor of Ngwathe on the left, Mrs. Victoria Nanalekpe, and then we have the project owner, Dr. Molefe as well, on the right. So they will be taking questions. What we will do, because you're doing the audio visual, we'll split the time. We're only going to be here for 20 minutes. So you'll do the audio visual first, and then you'll do your questions. Or as he does the questions, you'll just take your notes. And then we're just going to have a quick photo shoot with the MM and the director after this. So it's 20 past 12 now, so we should be done 10 minutes before 1 tops. Thank you. We're starting? Yeah.
Thank you very much to the executive mayor as well as the Ndate Dr. Molefe for the opportunity to engage on this mega project that's about to happen in Ngwathe local municipality. I think the first question that I would like to ask is to Dr. Molefe. Why Ngwathe? Why Parys?
It's a very simple question. I think I'm the 5th generation Selete from the Williams. So I'm effectively trying to rebuild my ancestral lineage. Hutua, you never forget where you come from. So as a business person, I'd like to reinvest where my roots come from.
Okay. So it's a personal project, much as it is about business also.
Correct.
And to the executive mayor, a project such as this, massive as it is, what does it mean to you as the individual executive mayor, as well as for the municipality of Ngwathe?
To be having such a massive project, it's actually good news for me, because in my inception, the first speech that we had, we were talking about how can we develop Ngwathe as a whole. And for the community, it's also going to be a huge project, because it's going to change our lives, we are still faced with challenges of the triple oppression, which is poverty, inequality, and also the unemployment factor that's there. So having such a mega project would really help the municipality, and also in terms of us having to generate revenue to have more people working. It's good news.
And how long have you known about this project? Did you approach Dr. Molefe, or did they come to you? And how long has it been in the planning before where we are now?
The doctor approached the municipality And when he approached the municipality, I remember our MM was still acting as the acting municipal manager, and he had asked us as the mayoral committee to come for a presentation. So we didn't know what to expect at that presentation. But when the presentation was done to us by Dr. Molefe, we were very excited, because what made me more excited was when he was speaking about his lineage, to say that I'm coming back, I'm giving back. And when he gave me the story about Batuma, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually nice. So yeah, it's few months back. I think it's months ago, few months. And what I like about the doctor is that he kept his promise, because normally people will come and say we are going to come and invest, and then you see them again after 2 years. So just months apart, and they are back in the municipality is exciting news for me.
And just speaking about people who come and say we will invest, Executive Mayor, there have been people who come to the municipality, and this question goes to both you and the doctor, that there have people who come to the municipality and say that we're going to invest in projects, and we see this going to the extent of sod-turning. This happened with the one factory which was supposed to be manufacturing cell phones and so on in Ngwathe. And the engagement with the community or with anybody for that project ended on the day of the sod-turning, and this must be about 10 years ago. How is it going to be different for this project?
For me, I believe it's going to be different, because like I said, we had, I think it's less than 4 months that we had this engagement, and the doctor is back. And also in terms of the planning thereof, shows you that actually this is going to happen. So it's not just another project that will disappear and so forth. This one I like, because everything is intact. The plans are there. The departments, provincial department was involved into the health department in ensuring that we get this running. So for me, really, also, you know what makes things not to happen is when you, as an administration, being the municipality, uh, have a lot of red tapes around things having to happen. So what we have done was to make sure that we're not going to have those red tapes. We're going to allow for this investment, because it's going to change people's lives. So I strongly believe that in the next coming months, after the soul turning next week, you will see it's not just a project that will disappear.
Your view, Ntate Molefe?
That my view is very simple. We need leadership like the mayor's leadership. It's very rare coming from a national development perspective. And I'm a senior banker. You know, I've been in business for many years. It's decades. You know, I was the first banker that started the first BEE. And as a young banker, 35 years ago, I came to Parys, and there was no social facilities. I looked at a site, and I developed Patuma. People never believed that there would be a hotel called Patuma. I did it. So I've got a track record of delivery. I started the first black-owned oil company, Excel Petroleum. I was the chairman. And people thought we were crazy. Who are we to actually compete with the Royal Dutch Shells, the British Petroleums, the Chevron Texacos? And we are just, you know, young Africans, you know, black Africans for that matter. I led the first founding of the first black mining house, JCI. I was the executive. So it's all about aligning yourself with the right leadership of the mayor's caliber that have got the interest of the masses and the constituents at heart. Then everything, you know. Once you've got that goal and the vision and the aura, money is the least of the concern. There's too much money that is looking at projects, but it doesn't have the kind of leadership support that we have with, in our partnership with the mayor.
And in terms of this partnership, who brings what to the table of the two partners? You are bringing resources. Is Ngwathe bringing the land? I'm asking this question, Majoro, to you in particular, because there have been questions about because we see there's about to be a development of the Parys airport. There have been questions about the ownership of that space there, who actually owns it, and the land that we're going to be developing on, whose land is it?
Okay. Firstly, let me start by indicating where the private hospital is going to be built on. As when the first time when we came in as a council, this item has been sitting there with council for years. So the first thing we did was to say that let's give a council resolution to the developer to go and develop this hospital. And at some point it disappeared, and then Dr. Molefe came back and said, no, we're back at it again. The airport belongs to, like everyone knows, the airport belongs to Ngwathe local municipality. And in our engagements with Dr. Molefe, we will do our part as a municipality in ensuring that whatever documentation needs to be signed will be signed. So ours is to ensure that we avail the land where it's possible. If it's private land, there's still where the municipality comes in. For instance, where the solar will be built and so forth, there are documentation that the municipality needs to sign. So we will be doing our part in ensuring that, like I said, I don't believe in red tapes, because red tapes are making things to disappear. So we are going to make it easy for Dr. Molefe to develop this beautiful mega project.
And this must be a thing of pride for you, Executive Mayor, before I hand over to Lizelle. Being the young Executive Mayor as you are, being the first female regional chairperson of the ANC in Selete, and in your time, there comes a project as big as this, which has got the potential to change people's lives, not in one way, but in many ways. One of these being jobs for the community, which desperately need it. Can you give us a bite just there?
It is exciting time. And I'm actually thankful to Dr. Molefe. But you know, if you are a leader, you need to listen as well. It's very important. I took this from the speech of the president when he was speaking to municipalities, saying in terms of with all the challenges that we're having based on revenue and so forth, we must be able to bring in investors in our municipalities. And that's where I said, but if this is an investment that's going to change the people's lives of Parys, why not? So it is really a pride and joy. Um, as young as I am, well, that's another story for another day. But yeah, for me, it's exciting time. You know, as a person, you want to leave a legacy. And when you look back, you would want to go back and say, but that is my legacy. So it's all about leaving a legacy. Thank you very much.
And which of these projects that are listed here are you looking forward to the most?
Honestly, all of them. All of them. I'm not choosing any. I'm looking forward to all of them.
All right, that's my part, Lizelle. Thank you. Thank you, Executive Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Molefe.
What a pleasure to have you both here, and we're really looking forward towards this project. I would like to know the start and completion dates. Is there any indication you can give at this stage?
Lizelle, we're doing the sod-turning. With the planning session, the QSs, the designs, the engineering, the work is in progress. We've been coming almost every week to Parys with the whole team. The architects, traffic counts, we've been counting the traffics because we have a truck stop that we're building. And the truck stop would actually like to help the council and the mayor to effectively move out all the truckers that park in town and park them properly in a thing. So we've been here with oil companies, you know, and we anticipate construction to effectively. You know, once we've submitted all the plans in January, and we'd like to have all our infrastructure on site by February. Once the council gives us the go-ahead, we carry on. In January, end of January, we're finalizing the equipment supplies for the private hospital. We need to do a little bit of changing at the gate, move the security gate a little down towards the retirement village, and we need the hospital to actually have its own entrance and the nursing home that we're building, so that if there's an emergency, you don't have to be signing through the security and getting clearances. You've got to go straight into the hospital. So from January onwards, there's going to be quite a lot of interruption on the R59.
And completion date, more or less, for all these projects?
Completion dates are governed by the bills of quantities and any potential disruptions. but we're looking at 2-3 years in terms of the truck stop, the service station, the private hospital, the retirement village, and the nursing home. But we're running the processes concurrently. We will be engaging in serious dialogues with council in terms of the aviation processes, the requirements. We're looking at the overall. We've already got the designs, for the airport, how we actually want it. There are all sorts of regulatory issues. We don't want, the delays to actually be blamed on council, because some of the dynamics are really national from an aviation's legislative authority, So we will be working hand in hand with council at pushing and breaking down the doors at national government. And the medical city, it's a partnership with the University of the Free State. We want to effectively give our universities, especially medical universities, the ability and the best facilities to actually bring out the best of doctors. At the moment, they're working from government hospitals, they're treading on each other's toes, they're not focusing properly. We need that. We partnered with one of the largest German medical equipment suppliers, Medicus, and we went there to source out the intellectual capital and some of the best expertise. Germany has got some of the best doctors, and they like the South African climate, and we ended up entering into multi-billion deals where this is going to be the first of the medical cities that we're developing. It's the whole university with proper 400-bed medical training facility that would actually make sure that medical facilities are easily accessible by the community, although the council will actually be facilitating a government hospital that will capacitate from a capacity point of view and financial supply. Because from a private sector perspective, and we cannot expect council to be sucking out blood out of a rock. We need, as responsible South Africans, to actually capacitate our leadership to actually perform, instead of going out and burning tires and saying service delivery, and we're not giving them support. We need to actually work hand in hand for the success of the country.
So if I understood correctly, the medical facility is 400 beds.
It's 400 beds, yes.
Okay, and the step-down facility?
The step-down facility, we're looking at about 120. But now the step-down facility, those plans we haven't as yet concluded, because we're looking at also bringing a 5-star hotel. So we're interrogating the tourism and disposable income opportunities as to whether, hotels are selling bums on beds. Yeah. So it's the affordability of the bums. So we will do the step down, and whilst we're interrogating the tourism, that's part of the large, cultural and historical sense of Parys. So we're still familiarizing ourselves as to what can we bring to effectively take Parys as the tourist destination. Not Clarence. We need to drive from Joburg, and I need to have meetings here for breakfast and go back to Joburg in the afternoon.
Plans for the hotel is not definite at this stage.
It's definite. We are working on it. We're busy with the studies.
We're busy with the studies. Where will the truck stop and the hotel be?
The truck stop is on the R59 coming in. There is, before the land where the golf course starts, you turn right. The truck stop is going to be on the right. The service station is going to be on the left, in front of the airport.
Okay, and the hotel also?
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. We're looking at 2 sites and with 2 listed international hotel groups. So I don't want to be told that I'm insider trading. I'm letting the cat out. Yeah, regulation.
What I also want to know is the medical facilities, both the step-down and the hospital, will then be on the estate land, close to the R59 gate. No? Okay. Job opportunities, we spoke about that. How many jobs do you foresee will be created with this project?
Ma'am, at construction, we're looking at least between 12 to 16,000. But If we roll out on the solar park, we're looking at another 12, so 24,000. Permanent job opportunities, we're looking at about 16 to 18. And producing jointly with the mayor on a business proposal that we will actually be capacitating. It's going to be a first on a national basis where a leadership of the mayor's caliber will actually be assembling more than 15,000 women in SMEs that will get proper salaries and will be shareholders in the company, and servicing the energy sector in terms of the renewable space. So the business model is presented to the mayor, and we will be supporting the mayor as bankers and investors all the way.
I take it most will be local, the job opportunities, most of it.
Local.
Yeah, most.
Majority.
May, in terms of infrastructure, will we be able to handle this kind of, it's a huge development for us in terms of electricity and water. Can you give us a little bit of clarity on this?
What the project brings as well is to assist the municipality on the infrastructure, because it's something very important. I just raised the issue of Eskom with Dr. Molefe just now, and he was saying to me, oh, okay, I might have an idea how you can resolve this matter. So yeah, in terms of us, we will be able to, because just now in the council sitting, that we held on Tuesday, we actually approved our spatial development plan. So it was mainly based on, because you can't just develop without having that plan in hand. So we are ready as a municipality, because the spin-offs of this whole project is going to assist us with the infrastructure. Remember, while they are building, they're also putting in infrastructure, which will assist the municipality. So it's something that we will look into. We've raised our challenges as a municipality, the issue of the water, the issue of the electricity. But in terms of the water, remember, we are currently building our plant. And if there is a need to expand, I'm sure we can sit down with the doctor and say there's a need for us to expand our plant to be able to accommodate the project. So I do not foresee it as a crisis.
I think that would be a concern for residents at this moment. We know that we've got huge challenges with electricity supply, with water supply, so they can be rest assured that you are taking this into account with the project and you will make provisions.
Absolutely, we bring in the best of professional competency that know the area. Our infrastructure in terms of water reticulation is ProPlan. ProPlan is known nationally. They've handled massive government thing. They've already, before we even started the project, they had already spent 8 months doing a study for us as to potential, how do we actually support and work with the council and capacitate in terms of getting rid of whatever water and backlog, and how we bring in, because we've got as bankers the ability to bring in donor funding. You know, we know most of the institutions and sovereign funds that we would actually like to introduce to the mayor and to see as to how they can actually benefit. For us as South Africans, it's not a question of developing a specific municipal area. We want to develop the country, because if Ngwathe develops, the whole country develops.
The schools, we're talking about private schools. Where will that be? Can you clarify on that?
Some of my partners within the academia, we've actually been debating, and we've had previous dialogue with the previous national ministry, NG, on saying we are worried that we're dropping the standards. We've got Model C schools, Rivonia Primary, we've got Catholic schools. If I talk about private schools, and it's all about money, you know. I mean, my kids went to a school where I parted with 300,000 per year. That's an exclusion of uniforms, holidays, and camping, traveling overseas. I cannot, in my normal sense, try and take a Crawford and bring it to Parys. There'll be a very few people. That's an insult to my cultural background. I would rather bring in the same academic standards as Crawford at an affordable price. And the models are there. Parys has got good teachers. I've spent time with Parys World School. I've assessed, I've got 2 kids at Parys World School that are adopted, they're my kids. And I've just introduced a new joint venture with Northwest University on putting 20 girls together and in an ICT, and we're sponsoring it with SASOL. They win the prize against sports and other municipalities. We send them to Silicon Valley. Why can't we give young girls an opportunity of becoming the next Microsoft giants? So that's the realistic value that we're bringing in. We're not just coming in to put up structures, employ, and we make profit. The municipality get the fiscus in rates and taxes, electricity. But what about carrying the nation with us? And it's for us to work with the leadership to actually get the masses behind them so that the whole country is a success.
You know where the schools will be?
Yes, we do. We've identified around the medical precinct, behind the medical precinct, and the architects are busy now with the recreational facilities and measuring the sites, and they've been walking the land that will be presenting to council on saying the schools, we need so much land, we'd like to demarcate them, we're donating them, or we put them into a community trust where there'll be a board of trustees that will actually be overseeing the operations, and we will be lifetime funders and sponsors of the school.
So I take it most of this project, most of the development will, in other words, be along the R59, just before the airfield.
That's correct.
The land just past that, say, the car wash at the on the estate. No, more or less there.
That's correct.
Okay, and just to clarify for the public, who is doing or who is responsible for this whole project, the developer? The name of your company or the partners who's in this?
The group, it's called Rand Holdings. Rand, as in 1 rand. It's Rand Holdings, yes.
Doing this whole
That's
development.
correct. That's correct.
Okay, and your position at Rand
I'm the
Holdings?
executive chairman. Yes. I assembled the team because I used to be on the board of Stocks and Stocks. I used to own a bank. So I bring in construction and banking expertise. And unfortunately,
Have you done a development of this scale somewhere else that people can maybe go and see what you've done already in the country?
I was the brain behind the development of Nelson Mandela Square. I developed Nelson Mandela Square. I raised the money from Libya with Muammar Gaddafi. And as the country's thank you to Madiba for having brought in the Rainbow Nation. And we've developed that scale. I worked on Sun City, Cascades, and the Palace with my colleagues. So I've done some of the biggest developments. In Namibia, I built Swakopmund, and I built the country club in Windhoek. So I've developed quite a lot.
My last question, and I must ask this.
Yes, ma'am.
You know Parys, it seems, very well. You did not grow up here.
I didn't. My grandparents were here, my great-grandparents were here, my great-great-parents were here.
Oh, okay. So you used to visit Parys
Quite a lot.
regularly, and that's where Patuma came. What year was it that you built Patuma?
That was early 80s. I was still working for Cape Investment Bank. And I remember the then MD, what was his name? Andy Swart and Henry de Klerk. Andy Swart was a Parys guy. He knew my grandfather. That's how I actually chose this. There was no social life, for people in Tumahole. And for me, I was young. I needed to party every weekend. I needed to drive to Parys. I'm older now. I come and pay my respects at my grandparents' sites. They're all buried here. And we still have family homes and family businesses in Tumahole, yes.
Okay. And do you maybe plan to relocate to Parys with this kind of development coming? We hope so.
I will have a house, definitely. As to whether relocate, I don't know. I don't know. I have other responsibilities. You know, as you grow, you set up roots somewhere.
But you're welcome, Doctor.
I will definitely have a house in the estate, and I will be.
Now.
I've got sites I haven't developed. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.